The warning no one heard. The hallway went silent for just 2 seconds. Then a sudden scream ripped through Attica's cell block. A guard shouted, "Lock in, lock in." Metal doors slammed shut as inmates rushed backward. In the middle of the chaos, 2 inmates stood face to face. Reeves, fists tight, breathing fast. Holloway, calm but watching him closely. Everyone knew something serious had happened during morning count. Something dangerous. Something that showed exactly what prisoners face every single day inside Attica. But what caused this? Why were these 2 men seconds away from a showdown? And how did the day fall apart so quickly? To understand this hallway moment, we need to go back to the beginning of the day. Wake up to survive. Every day in Attica begins with noise. A loud, harsh buzzer shakes the walls at 5:05 a.m. Lights flash on. Doors unlock. Officers shout instructions. Marcus Hill, 29 years old, is already awake. He knows the rules. Wake up fast. Move fast. Stay alert. Breakfast routine. Inmates walk in a straight line toward the chow hall. No talking. No slowing down. Breakfast is simple. Oatmeal, a slice of bread, a cup of weak juice. Marcus sits alone, watching the room. Across the tables, Reeves and Holloway exchange a long, tense stare. Marcus feels something building. The bump. As inmates walk out, Reeves purposely bumps Holloway with his shoulder. The room freezes. One bump can start a chain reaction in Attica. Tension walks the halls. After breakfast, inmates move back to their housing units. The air feels heavier. Marcus watches quietly. Reeves whispers to 2 inmates. Holloway walks alone, eyes steady. Morning cell checks. Officers start routine searches. Beds lifted, lockers opened, clothes shaken. Marcus stands still as the cell is examined. Nothing happens, just pressure. But outside his cell, Reeves and Holloway walk the tier like they're waiting for something. The warning. As an officer leaves, Reeves stops at Marcus' door. He leans in and says, "Stay out the way today," then walks off. The warning has nothing to do with Marcus. It has everything to do with what's coming. The yard never lies. Later, inmates head outside for yard time. Cold air hits their faces. Marcus moves to a quiet corner. On one side, Reeves stands with his 2 friends. Across the yard, Holloway stands alone, watching calmly. Guard patrol. Officers walk the fence line. The yard looks peaceful, but Marcus notices signals. A shift of Holloway's foot, a tilt of Reeves' head, little signs, dangerous signs. The rush. Suddenly, Reeves steps forward faster than expected. Inmates look up. The whole yard feels ready to erupt. Counts and consequences. Officers call everyone back inside for afternoon count. The tension from the yard follows them. Inside, the noise returns. Boots on the floor. Keys rattling. Doors opening. Marcus watches the hallway. Reeves pacing. Holloway leaning on the bars. A guard's warning. A guard stops and speaks to Reeves. "I'm watching you today. Don't try anything." Reeves nods, but his eyes tell a different story. The block gets quiet. The kind of quiet that means something is building. The pass. Marcus sees Reeves slip something small into another inmate's hand. Quick. Hidden. A sign that the next moment could be worse than anyone expects. The hallway showdown. Evening movement begins. Inmates walk to showers and return to their cells. Marcus hears a shout. Sharp. Fast. Urgent. He turns and sees them. Reeves and Holloway stand just a few feet apart in the narrow hallway. The same hallway from the hook. Everything goes still. This is the moment that has been building all day. 1 second of calm. A guard steps between them, raising both hands. Back up, both of you. For 1 second, it seems like both men might walk away. Marcus lets out a slow breath. Maybe the day won't explode after all. The move. Then, Reeves steps forward. Holloway reacts. The guard yells, "Stop." And everything inside Attica shifts in one single heartbeat. The breaking point. The hallway froze. Reeves' step forward wasn't big, but in Attica, even a small move can change the whole day. The guard shoved his arm out, trying to keep both men apart. His voice echoed down the block. I said back up, but neither inmate moved. Marcus watched from a few steps away, his heart beating hard. He knew this was the moment everything had been leading up to. And then a loud crash came from the far end of the hallway, metal hitting concrete. Everyone turned for a split second, and that 1 second was the opening someone had been waiting for. The distraction, the noise came from a laundry cart flipping over. Clothes spilled everywhere. 2 inmates pretended to argue. The guards turned their heads, just long enough to lose focus. Marcus realized the truth instantly. The distraction wasn't an accident. It was planned. Reeves' eyes locked onto Holloway's hands, checking if he was holding anything. Holloway stayed still, breathing slow, calm. The moment before impact, Marcus whispered under his breath, "Don't do it, not here." But Attica doesn't care about timing, or warnings, or peace. It only takes one choice, from one person, to turn the day upside down. The swing. Reeves suddenly pulled his arm back. A fast, sharp movement. The guard spun around too late. Everything happened in one violent second. A blur of motion, a shout, boots hitting concrete, and the entire hallway erupted. Chaos in the corridor. The guard tackled Reeves. 2 more officers ran in from the stairs. Prisoners stepped back as the hallway filled with yelling and panic. Holloway didn't move. He stood still, like he expected this moment all along. Marcus pressed himself against the wall as officers grabbed Reeves' arms and legs. The spread of noise. Other inmates shouted from inside their cells. What happened? Who swung first? Get him out of here. Noise spread like fire. The hallway lights flickered as the officers fought to control the situation. The misunderstanding. In the chaos, one officer grabbed Holloway roughly. "You're going too." Holloway shouted back. I didn't move, but his voice didn't matter. Not in this environment. Not when adrenaline was high. Not when the block was shaking with noise. The dragging. Reeves was dragged down the hallway first. Kicking, yelling, struggling. Holloway followed moments later, hands behind his head, silent. Marcus watched him disappear around the corner, knowing this wasn't the end. It was only the start of a new problem. Lockdown. The officers' voices echoed through the block. Everyone lock in. Now! Cell doors slammed one after another. Marcus stepped inside his cell, breathing heavy. He sat on his bunk, staring through the bars. Lockdowns are normal in Attica, but this one felt different. The noise from the hallway faded, but the tension stayed. Questions with no answers. From inside their cells, inmates whispered. What caused it? Was it planned? What did Reeves pass earlier? Why did Holloway stay calm the whole time? Marcus had his own questions. Most of all, who created the distraction? Someone flipped that laundry cart on purpose. Someone helped trigger the fight. Someone wanted this to happen. Marcus knew danger wasn't gone. It had only changed shape. The long silence. The block stayed quiet for almost an hour. Then, a loud voice came through the speaker system. Prepare for interviews. Officers will move cell by cell. Marcus closed his eyes. Attica's truth was simple. When violence happens, the day doesn't end. The consequences just begin. The officers knock. Keys jingled outside Marcus' cell. An officer appeared. Not just any officer. Sergeant Rowe, one of the toughest on the block. He didn't yell. He didn't look angry. He simply said, "Marcus Hill, step forward." Marcus stood straight, hands behind his back, eyes forward. Rowe studied him for a moment. The unexpected question. "Did you see what happened?" Rowe asked quietly. Marcus hesitated. Talking in Attica could mean trouble. Not talking could mean something worse. He stayed silent. Rowe leaned closer. Someone started that distraction for a reason. Someone wanted those two to clash. You know how this place works. Start talking. Marcus felt his stomach tighten, because now he had a new fear. Someone was playing a bigger game than Reeves and Holloway. Someone was pulling strings behind the scenes. Someone officers wanted to find, and they thought Marcus knew something. The choice. Rowe tapped the bars. "I'll be back." Then he walked away. Marcus sat down again, heart pounding. He knew one thing for sure. The real danger in Attica isn't the fight you see. It's the person who causes the fight you never expected. Whispers in the dark. Marcus sat on his bunk as the block settled into an uneasy quiet. Lockdowns were normal in Attica, but this silence felt different. Heavy, tight, like the air itself was waiting for trouble. A soft voice slid through the wall from the next cell. "They're blaming you." Marcus's stomach tightened. He didn't answer, but he knew exactly what that meant. Rose stopping at his door, the guard talking just loud enough it didn't matter what he said or didn't say. In Attica, rumors moved faster than truth. A folded note suddenly slid under his door. Marcus picked it up slowly and opened it. One word stared back at him. Tonight. He felt the message hit like cold water. A warning? A threat? A setup? From down the tier, someone laughed. A short, sharp sound that carried danger. Boots approached, then passed the cell. Another door opened. Someone new was being moved onto the tier. Marcus stepped to the bars just as a familiar voice echoed across the block. "Holloway." Now everything was about to shift again. Whispers in the dark. Marcus sat on his bunk as the block settled into an uneasy quiet. Lockdowns were normal in Attica, but this silence felt different. Heavy, tight, like the air itself was waiting for trouble. A soft voice slid through the wall from the next cell. "They're blaming you." Marcus's stomach tightened. He didn't answer, but he knew exactly what that meant. Rose stopping at his door, the guard talking just loud enough it didn't matter what he said or didn't say. In Attica, rumors moved faster than truth. A folded note suddenly slid under his door. Marcus picked it up slowly and opened it. One word stared back at him. Tonight. He felt the message hit like cold water. A warning? A threat? A setup? From down the tier, someone laughed. A short, sharp sound that carried danger. Boots approached, then passed the cell. Another door opened. Someone new was being moved onto the tier. Marcus stepped to the bars just as a familiar voice echoed across the block. "Holloway." Now everything was about to shift again. The return. Holloway's arrival on the tier changed the atmosphere instantly. His presence alone made inmates shift in their cells, whispering behind steel and concrete. Marcus watched him calmly sit down his property box, moving like someone who never rushed, never panicked, never showed fear. Their eyes met for a brief moment. Not anger, not blame, just calculation. Like Holloway was trying to read the entire day in Marcus's face. From the next cell, someone muttered, "They brought him back here for a reason." Marcus didn't respond, but he felt every word. Maybe Holloway knew who planned the earlier distraction. Maybe he was back to settle something quietly. Maybe he wasn't here for Reeves at all. Keys rattled again as officers finished the transfer. Lights dimmed to night mode, and the tier dropped into a low tension Marcus couldn't shake. He had survived the fight, the rumors, and the lockdown, but now he had to survive Holloway being only a few feet away. Night signals. The block settled into the strange rhythm of night. Soft talking, metal clicks, quiet footsteps. Marcus sat on his bunk, waiting for things to calm down, but they didn't. The tension stayed. A soft tap came from the wall. Once. Pause. Twice. A signal. Marcus didn't tap back. He didn't want to answer, but someone tapped again, more urgent this time. The whisper followed. "You need to stay alert. Tonight isn't about Reeves anymore." Marcus leaned closer. "Then who's it about?" Silence. Then the voice said, "The one who planned the distraction. They're trying to use you to draw him out." That hit Marcus hard. He wasn't just stuck in the middle. He was bait. Far down the tier, Holloway shifted in his cell. Marcus could hear him moving, pacing slowly, thinking. Whatever was coming tonight, it wasn't random. Someone was pushing the pieces, and Marcus was one of them. The unknown visitor. Sometime after midnight, footsteps returned, slow, careful, not part of the regular patrol. Marcus stood and moved quietly to the bars. A shadow stopped 2 cells down. Someone whispered through the bars, voice low and controlled. "You ready?" Marcus couldn't see the face clearly, but he recognized the voice, an inmate known for passing messages, never staying in one place too long. The whisper continued. "There's movement on the floor. Someone's planning to corner Holloway. They think taking him out will stop everything." Marcus felt his chest tighten. "And what does that have to do with me?" The shadow leaned closer. "They think Holloway spoke to you before the fight, that you too know something." Marcus stepped back. This wasn't about blame anymore. This was politics. Someone wanted control, power, leverage, and Marcus was caught between people far more dangerous than Reeves or Holloway. The shadow slipped away just as quickly as it appeared. Now Marcus wasn't sure who was hunting who. The shift. The block suddenly went quiet again, too quiet. Marcus felt the hairs on his arms rise. Something had changed, but he didn't know what yet. Then Holloway spoke for the first time since being moved back. Not loud, not angry, just calm. "Marcus, you didn't set anything up, but someone wants you to look guilty." Marcus kept his voice low. "Why me?" Holloway stepped closer to his bars, still in the shadows. "Because you watch everything. Because you don't belong to any group. Because you're easy to isolate." Those words hit harder than any threat. Marcus didn't want to choose sides. He didn't want to get dragged deeper. But Attica didn't care what he wanted. Holloway added, "When the lights go fully out, someone's coming. Not for me. For the person they think is the weak link." Marcus felt his heartbeat jump. He knew exactly who Holloway meant. Tonight wasn't about revenge. It was about survival. And the target was him. The truth about Attica isn't just a prison. It's a daily battle with tension, silence, and the fear of what might happen next. Inside these walls, even the smallest rumor can turn a calm day into something dangerous. Marcus never wanted to be involved, yet the moment Rose stopped at his door, the moment whispers spread, the moment Holloway returned, everything shifted. In Attica, you don't have to make trouble for trouble to find you. Reeves, Holloway, the flipped laundry cart, the secret messages. They were all pieces of a larger puzzle, a quiet game of influence and control played behind steel and concrete. And this entire chain of events came from just one single day. That's the reality here. Every step is a risk. Every night carries a new question. And survival depends on more than strength. It depends on watching, listening, and knowing who might stand with you when the lights finally go out. For Marcus, this day was only the start. Call to action. If this story opened your eyes to the reality inside Attica, let us know your thoughts in the comments. Your voice matters more than you think. For more true crime and prison life stories like this, make sure you like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss what's coming next. Share this video with someone who should understand what really happened behind those walls. Voices from inside, where the truth can't be locked away. Good luck, people.